Hey, January 1949, Berlin Airlift. Let's have some dessert. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Dave Guerra, United States Army veteran, 11 Bravo, former member of the United States Army Berlin Brigade. Welcome back to another exciting episode of This Vet Cooks. And again, we're continuing with cooking out of the Operation Vittles Cookbook. Yes, that cookbook put together in January 1949 by the wives of the American wives, the blockaded American wives in Berlin, put together back then. Thank you to the individual that made this book available, and it's a lot of fun. Already into our second recipe, and we've got a lot of stuff. So in this one, it's dessert time. Yes, like I said, it was all broken down: meats, breads, vegetables, soups, and of course desserts. So today is the English toffee pudding. What do we need in that? Well, we need 2 cups of powdered sugar, and we have our own H-E-B Quality Confections powdered sugar. We're going to use 2 cups of that. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of cocoa. So this, we're using the H-E-B Organics cocoa powder. So 1 teaspoon of that. 2 cups of butter. Now the butter should be melted down, and not into a liquid form, but no, softened, because you're going to need to beat that all in there. So you might want to prep ahead and get that butter out a little bit. 2 eggs separated, 2 yolks, and then later on we're going to beat and stiffen the egg whites. So we've got that. What else have we got? 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 cups of nuts, chopped and toasted. So you should always toast your nuts. Chopping them and toasting them. Toast your nuts. Brings out the flavor in them. So we got that going on. And if you don't know how to do that, well, you just chop them up or get them already chopped. That's how they make them. They stay up nights chopping nuts. And in an oven, 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. Make sure the oven is at 350 when you put the nuts in there. Otherwise, it's going to take just a tad bit longer. Let's see. And half a box of vanilla wafers. So we've got these vanilla wafers, right? Some vanilla wafers. And now we're going to roll them with the rolling pin to some fine crumbs, and we're going to need that at the beginning once we're compiling everything, and at the end when we're done compiling the pudding. So this will be interesting, and let's get started. What are we doing first? We're going to sift 2 cups of powdered sugar with 1 teaspoon of, let me get this out of the way here. There we go. That's our water bottle. Anyway, 2 and 1 teaspoon of cocoa. So that's that, and it is cocoa powder. It's the H-E-B Organics cocoa powder. Folks, if you don't have an H-E-B in your area, you don't know what you're missing. Central Market, again, if you don't have one, you don't know what you're missing. So it says to go ahead and sift it, but because we've already broken down the butter, we kind of got ahead of ourselves. We're going to sift the sugar in here. And we'll do that. There we go. Whoa, got too far ahead of ourselves. Saw it went over the top. We should be fine. The majority of it is sifting through. Now we've sifted the sugar, and we've sifted the cocoa. Now we're going to go ahead and mix it all up with the butter. And you see it's going to have a unique consistency here. Whoa, butter everywhere. It's almost going to look like a crummy dough. But again, it's just sugar. And it says to mix well, so we're mixing well. The next thing we're going to do is add our egg yolks and a teaspoon of vanilla. So there's our egg yolks all in there. And it does say to beat well, so we're going to beat it very well in just a bit. Let's get more of that egg yolk in there. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. There it is. Let's go ahead and get all these. Oh, jeez. They got a little slick here. Yeah, there we go. I knew it had a little bit more in it. Put that out of the way. And now we're going to I see, that's the bad thing. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The wooden one, please. Jeez. They got stuck in the wire and it went in between. Now it's... So we're going to go ahead and... Yep, that wooden spoon really did the trick. Because now it's picking up everything. And look at that. Just like that, folks. It picked up everything that was needed. There we go. Thank you. Now, we're not cooking the eggs. Oh my, that's delicious. We're not cooking the eggs. We're not baking this. We are going to put this in the fridge. Folks, get your pasteurized eggs. Get the pasteurized eggs. That's what they're for. I know the FDA was going to say, no, they got to be pasteurized, and I might get the helicopters flying over the house. They got other things to deal with right now. But we are not going to be putting this in the oven. So if you have this egg aversion, then don't do this recipe. But hey, you like living on the edge? Because they lived on the edge back in January of 1949 during the Berlin blockade. The evidence is in the cookbook. You can too. It's going to be fun. All right, what's next to do? We we add the nuts. These are our roasted toasted nuts. There we go, crushed. So we're going to add these in there. Going to mix them in. Wow, that does a different dynamic to the pudding. It starts to let it go on its own. It starts breaking it down. It's kind of like when you chew gum and then you eat potato chips. You know, it all breaks down. The gum just breaks down. It's kind of the same thing. Camera 2's having a field day with this, isn't it? I should adjust the camera. There we go. Fold in egg whites. Now the egg whites should have been stiffly beaten, so here we are. Let's go ahead and move this over here. Let's go to our egg whites. And let's... Now it says to stiffly beaten until they are stiffly beaten. You see, it doesn't take very long. It's only 2 egg whites. We're not adding cream of tartar, so we're not making a meringue. Now to stiffly beaten, everybody has their own measuring stick, I guess, to determine. Because we're not adding that cream of tartar, we're not going to be able to do the stiff peaks. All right, then at that point it's, you know, it's meringue. But it's frothy. See, it's still soupy. All right, folks, we've stiffly beaten the eggs, and here they are. They've got a little peak right there. I don't know if you can see that right there. But we got to do it quickly. Fold this in because it will collapse. It will just fall back on itself. So we'll just fold this all in. There we go. Looks nice. And we will just... See, now it's starting to take another form. Now it's starting to really, the moisture is really starting to go in. And so we've got a lot of moisture. It looked a little dry. Okay, now here's our loaf pan lined with wax paper. So we're going to go ahead and do that again. First thing we're going to do is get our half the bag of vanilla wafers, and we're going to take that crumbled half and we're going to line the bottom of it with the wafers. Yeah, there we go. That helps keep it down also. So what we're doing is just creating a base. And while we're doing that, I definitely want to take some time to thank everyone for watching on Twitter or visiting our Twitter feed on Twitter at This Vet Cooks, on our Instagram page This Vet Cooks, and our Facebook page facebook.com/thisvetcooks. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching. And hey, comments. Let us know what you're thinking of these recipes. I definitely want to hear from you. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You're not shy about anything else. Why do you want to be shy about this? Don't be shy. So go ahead. Let us know what you think of the recipes and interesting times and your observation as to what went on during that time. I know, just to kind of get your impression of what was going on. So here we go. Loading this up. There we go. Golly. I spread this out. There we go. And then we add the rest of the vanilla wafers on top. There we go. A lot of it though. Spread that out evenly. All right, folks. That's what it's supposed to look like. It's going to go in the fridge for several hours. All right, everybody. It's going to be in the fridge for several hours, about 3-4 minimum, depending on your fridge. Don't forget, over there in Berlin, January 1949, they had limited power. So for the fridge, it was very limited how long it would run. But if they kept it closed, it would be technically overnight. So you could, yes, leave it in the fridge for overnight. Don't let it freeze. Don't put it in the freezer. You don't want that. You want it to congeal, harden up, then we're going to pop it out, slice it, and we're going to have at it, because obviously that's what we need to do. So I want to thank Maureen Miller. Maureen Miller, she's the one who presented this or offered this recipe of the English toffee pudding to the Operation Vittles Cookbook. So again, kudos there. So again, a little glimpse into life, 1949, January, late 48 or 48 to 49 when the Berlin Airlift was taking place, and on those limited supplies. It didn't look like it was going to. At one point, I was more concerned about the moisture. I was like, wow, it's going to be really dry. And then obviously the concern about the eggs. But that's today, 1949. Hey, you got to live on the edge. I mean, you were already 110 miles behind enemy lines. You're trying to raise a family. Yeah, and then you had to do that on a very tight supply and provisions. So, hey, more power to them. These unique times. Alrighty. We'll be back when this is ready to be chowed down and devoured. Alrighty, so it's several hours later now, and let's take this out. And it's been about 4 hours. So we take it out. There it is. Take over here on camera 2. Very crummy, so again, that's what happens. There that is. Get our utensil. Let's cut ourselves a slice of the English toffee pudding. Ooh, that looks nice. And very crummy, but we knew that going in, right? So there it is. Hey, listen, before we wrap this up, I want to definitely invite you, if you need to, by all means, please don't hesitate. Make the call. Veterans Crisis Line, 1-800-273-8255. Press the number 1. Number 1's for veterans. 1-800-273-8255, the Veterans Crisis Line. Make the call, okay? Don't even hesitate. It's 2021. Time to hesitate is through. All right, so get it done. All right, back to the English toffee pudding from the the Operation Vittles Cookbook. And again, here we go. Remember, it's got eggs. So let's, let's move this out of the way a little bit. And it's not solid, so that is outstanding. Folks, if this is how it tasted January 1949 during the blockade, wow, I can only imagine what the following recipes are going to taste like. The beef stroganoff, that was awesome. Oh, that was gone. It's gone, guaranteed. This is fantastic. And yes, there's like a toffee flavor to it. And it's pudding, but it's not the American, Jello brand, pudding. No. This thing is awesome. It's fantastic, very flavorful, not overly sweet. You would think that it'd be overly sweet, but it's not. Anyway, I'm going to have myself another piece. And folks, listen, I'm Dave Guerra, and This Vet Cooks.